With a string of 4 wins in a row, McGrath and the rest of the stars of the Supercross Series headed north to Atlanta, where for many years race conditions looked like this. But not this year. Gone from the tour was roofless Fulton County Stadium. In its place, the all-new Georgia Dome. Art Ekman took advantage of the ideal conditions to spend a little time with Jeremy and his mechanic, Skip Norfolk.
At the beginning of the season, the press didn't even get a chance to misquote you. They weren't around you. Now everybody wants a piece of you. The press, the fans, the promoters, and of course the riders that are competing against you.
Yeah, it just seems like everybody wants a little something right now. You know, the riders, they want to beat me because I've been winning these last races. But, you know, that's what I'm here for. You know, right now I'm the mark to be beat. And, you know, I'm just trying to do the best I can to stay on top.
And Skip, as the wins mount up, do you think more and more and worry more about the bike?
I don't want to call it worrying, but I do find myself going to tighten a bolt and going, hey, wait a minute, you just tighten that bolt. Get your head back on. But if I have the time, I'm going to check those things 2, 3, 4 times, whatever time allows me.
Has Jeremy changed much? I know, like, he didn't win a heat race with the brand new helmet, and then he put it away, and we haven't seen it since. The old helmet's on his head.
No, it's sitting on a shelf back home looking pretty. It didn't work. That was the change. Went back to what was working, and we won 4 races now in a row. And it goes back to the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, in the Georgia Dome, the streak came to an end. When the field rounded the first corner, McGrath was mid-pack. Jeremy later said, I just tensed up. Tonight, I didn't have it. Actually, I'm glad it's over. Now I can get back to racing. I can concentrate on the championship and matters at hand. Toward the front of the pack, there was a lot of racing going on. Michael Craig was the leader. He had the whole shot. Running into number 2 position was Mike Kiedrowski. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th between Stanton and Damon Bradshaw, who was running in the number 3 slot. Bradshaw drew alongside Mike Kiedrowski, got a good line on the inside part of the racetrack around a left hairpin turn, and like that, Bradshaw was running in the number 2 position. The Atlanta race was paramount for the 3 riders running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Bradshaw in the standings was 18 points behind McGrath. Kiedrowski was 19 points down, and Stanton 22 points back. It was time for the veterans to strut their stuff. Those 3 riders needed the points if they were to make a run at the championship, and it was close to the halfway mark of the season. You'll recall the strategy of the veterans. You have to finish throughout the first half of the season and finish consistently. You get as many points as possible in every race. Then in the latter part of the season, when it boiled down to 2, maybe 3 riders, then you let it hang out. Then you go for broke. The veteran strategy had not worked to date. Jeremy McGrath was running away with the series, and they knew it. They knew they had made the mistakes in the early races, and it was time to come on strong. At the head end of the pack, Michael Craig was doing just that. The Kawasaki rider recorded a DNF at the opening round in Orlando, Florida, but since then, he had consistently placed in the top 10. Behind Craig, Jeff Stanton started to ride aggressively. He put that move on Mike Kiedrowski and went to 3rd. On lap 5, Bradshaw drew even with Michael Craig. The Team Yamaha star, perhaps smarting from a Jeremy McGrath comment that he, Bradshaw, had problems dealing with traffic, easily made the pass. He was headed for his 3rd consecutive Atlanta win and the first ever in the Georgia Dome. Still in the early laps, and Craig is now challenged by Stanton with Kiedrowski close behind. Now watch the upcoming pass. Stanton is going to move Michael Craig out of the way. That is not the way Stanton was riding in the early rounds of the series. Stanton had definitely picked up the pace. Let's take another look. Stanton goes to the inside. Craig is in the line, but Stanton physically bowled his way through, and he took over the number 2 position. So with Bradshaw out front, Stanton 2nd, and with this upcoming pass, Kiedrowski will take over 3rd. Craig would also be passed by McGrath to end up 5th for the night. As the laps wore on, Stanton continued his charge. Bradshaw responded by digging deeper and finding just a little bit more. On the surface, it appeared Atlanta just might be a turning point in the championship chase. Bradshaw, Stanton, Kiedrowski easily maintaining the front-running positions. The word was, without a whole shot, McGrath was in trouble. That word was wishful thinking on the part of those that were looking to manufacture a championship points chase. So it was Bradshaw, Stanton, Kiedrowski, McGrath, and Craig in the top 5. Then Swink, Lamson, Stevenson, Ward, Phil Lawrence rounding out the top 10. Here are the standings after Atlanta. Note the gap between first and second. Bradshaw picked up